Share video yi ema me wo hwe wie na o comment nso ho ana de ama me o comment section na so subscribe to Khemical TV so wa eya na wa subscribe me din e na adwa bi na wa eye the teen house e na so yes na to me din sim we nyina e de e bro ne nyina ene se Blakk Rasta aba be cancel bi e de ya fa yenwura Dr. Bawumia e ho na yenwura Dr. Bawumia de wa to just say ana obi bia la e chese wo frɛ wo no eye Dr. Bawumia se wo ye otrofo no se nipa no ono nso eye ewo impossibilities mindsets na sa nsem we no e na Blakk Rasta den sama betu dwa wo twemu se wo ka de ache yenwura eye Dr. Bawumia se enye it is possible nti e na nkofo ka we no emom no eye niema bi a wode wano kan ye bo sha wo hye wo ma we ndi so no eno e na ama Ghana fo ka se sebi oye otrofo ene ebusua Blakk Rasta wanfa yenwura Dr. Bawumia e ho anche.
Who is this man people call a liar? That's him. People have even recoined his name from Bawumia to Bawaliar. This is the man, a very fine gentleman. When he first came into the country and was hauled into the arena of politics, he was so gentle and so cool. He spoke so eloquently. He was soft-spoken and very intelligent. Little did we know that it was all a make-believe. It was a smoke screen. My brother, my sister, that fine gentleman later showed his true colors, a big fat liar. My brother, my sister, to the point that even unborn children were calling him a liar. The name Bawumia in Ghana is synonymous with lies and liars. He's tried so much to be able to break free from this lying tag, but he has never been able to do it. My brother, my sister, Bawumia, does he see himself as a liar? How does he see people who call him a liar? This one I'm reading from Ghana Web, and it says, people who call me a liar have an impossibilities mindset. Run it, my youth. Flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party, the MPP, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has explained that he is called a liar because he believes that Ghana can do exactly what is happening in the Western world. He says he has, over the years, thought of possibilities. However, the people who have tagged him as a liar are persons who have always propagated impossibilities. I said to someone that at least I am not called a murderer, like my boss was called. I am not called a drug dealer. Or am I government official one? He's asked. But he didn't end there. He continued. Why do these things arise? Fundamentally, I believe that Ghana can do exactly what is happening in the developed world. I believe it is possible for us to leapfrog technology. For us to do this, we must have a mindset of possibilities. That's why I am saying it's possible. We are always timid in trying to do things that are not even done in advanced countries. We think because it's not done in advanced countries, then we shouldn't even try. But we can leapfrog them in many areas, he said. Dash him away. My brother, it is so good to encourage people and tell people that yes, it's possible. It's so good to be a motivational speaker, especially if you know what you're about. But Ghanaians are not calling Bawumia because he's telling people that it's possible. They call him a liar because he has made promises that he has failed to fulfill. Don't run away from the subject. You are being called a liar because you made a plethora of promises which you failed to deliver on. To your people in Mampurugu, to your people in the Ashanti, to your people even in the greater Accra region. And when I say to your people, people who follow him, he has made promises and he has not been able to deliver. My brother, my sister, so many different promises. If we want to go into this, we are going to hurt ourselves. And this is a man who is two-faced. Today he says this and tomorrow he's saying another thing. We all remember when he told us clearly that the exchange rate had exposed the previous government. because fundamentally the economy was weak. When it was his time, today as we stand, the dollar to the cedi exchange rate is so terribly bad. $1 is now 17 Ghana cedis in some quarters here in Ghana. But if you want to go to the banks, they will give it to you for 16.5 Ghana cedis to $1. At the time that he said that the dollar had risen over the cedi, it was 4 Ghana cedis to $1. How do you explain that? Dr. Bawumia wants to go into economics that he himself doesn't understand. He says a lot of things. At the end of the day, when a man tells one lie, he would have to tell many more lies to cover that one lie. And by so doing, many more times, he becomes a barrage of lies walking around. He's a walking encyclopedia of lies. Somebody write it down. Bawumia has proven to Ghanaians that he is the walking encyclopedia of lies. He holds a PhD in lies. My brother, he told us so many different things. At the end of the day, when we were expecting him to deliver, the opposite came into being, and he couldn't come out to defend these things. E-levy is one such thing. He said, for him, it was poor people who used Momo. Do you all remember that? It's poor people who use Momo. What is Momo? Mobile money. People who do transactions like that on tables in Ghana and beyond. Right now, Momo is a big business. He told us that he will never tax Momo. A few days later, his boss, under who he serves, decided to institute the e-levy. And when we fought against it, challenging the president to listen to Bawumia, Bawumia the coward never came out to say, hey, my boss, I told the people that e-levy, we are not ready for that. It's poor people who use it. Don't tax poor people. He never said it. My brother, it's not about what you say, but it's about your quietness when wrong is being done. Did you hear me? When you sit down and see people doing wrong, and you do not rise against it or say anything about it, then you are condoning wrongdoing. How many people understand this and agree with me? You sat down for your boss, Nana Akufo-Addo, to implement these things. The coward Bawumia never left his office. If I were him, I would resign and tell the people that, hey, I promise the whole nation that I will never do Momo. And we will never do it because it's poor people who are engaged in that kind of transaction. Today, my boss is doing it. I feel betrayed. And honorably, I want to bow out. No, the coward decided to stay in power and decided to enjoy the fruits of power. Today, he wants us to vote him into power. Do we all remember when he went to Cape Coast and told the people of Cape Coast that they were bringing them an airport? Do we remember? And a harbor. His boss, Nana Akufo-Addo, whose memory is so wavering right now, very, very wavy, he went to the people of Cape Coast and told them that he never promised them any airport. He will never promise them any airport because of A, B, C, D, E, F. Looking at the topology and blah, 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 blah. He had forgotten that his own vice president had gone there to promise. So where was the promise coming from? Did Bawumia just get up to go and promise the people of Cape Coast? And his boss did not know about it? Obviously, it tells us that something is wrong. Either this man just goes and sees the people so happy and he decides to make them happier in Coast by telling them lies, or he has a boss who is so eccentric. In other words, he can't stand on one foot and say, this is what I stand for. Today he's here, tomorrow he's there. Bawumia says anyone who calls him a liar has the mind of impossibilities. He is moving away from why we call him a liar. To make promises and never deliver, you become a liar. To tell us this today and tomorrow, you tell us that no, when you said it, this was not what you meant, and try to take all of us for fool. That is why we call you a liar. My brother, my sister, is the black pot. aka Coco Shonmo. Bring his photograph here. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, I used to truly like you. I still like you as a person, but I hate your character of lying. You have become a pathological liar, and I am so hurt. I came to your house on your invitation, sat with you before you got into power, and you saw the fire in my eye looking for a good leader. I'm glad the day I came to you, I didn't even drink water from your home. Today, I would have been told that you fed me from morning till night because you are a man who lies. I'm glad that when I was growing, as tradition would demand, when a younger brother comes to you, where me and you come from, at least you give them transport and say, take these coins and sit in trotro. You didn't do that. And I don't have a problem. Today, I'm sure you would have said that you gave me millions of dollars. Finally, today you are unable to respond to me because you know that I genuinely want Ghana to prosper and to go where it's supposed to be. Because when I met you, these were the same things I told you. We were tired of Mahama. And I remember I told you that I was going to support you so that we will fight this government, Mahama government, out of power. Because we're tired of Mahama and the corruption going on. I'm glad we succeeded. But you are a bigger disappointment than Mahama. You and your boss. You are not your own man. You sit down and tell us a lot of things. When you go, your boss shoots down everything. You are not man enough to tell him, boss, I feel so embarrassed that I went into a meeting, told the people A, B, C, D, and I come back finally and you shoot down all these things. I want to resign. Please, I'm going. They don't even respect you. They don't respect you. Your boss should have apologized to you if he didn't also see you as that liar that every Ghanaian sees you as. When you went to Cape Coast and made those promises to the chiefs of the people, for your boss to go there and negate everything, later going there to say, oh yeah, truly, we have promised a harbor, but not an airport. He should have apologized to you. But he didn't, because you are nobody. It hurts me that a fine gentleman like you have belittled yourself because of politics. And we, those who used to support you, have been embarrassed to the core. That's my way.
We are here and Nebusianphony or the Yankasa Yenra, a year Dr. Muhammad Adam, and so they too so. And no kind of one say, Nina, and say, Wabekan be at the Afakoko board. Ghana, Koko Sika, I just see Yano Maymono, or the same be at the Ababe to a general. So Blakk Rasta, a count was some cacra at the Chile, and Yanko, Yangutin in somebody to a general baby.
Ghana still begging for cash for cocoa. Ah, my brother, do you remember a few days ago, less than a week, I was standing right here in front of you and applauding Ghana for saying that the cocoa industry now is so independent and is making its own money, creating its own wealth, and will not go out there and borrow? Do you remember? And we applauded. The minority in parliament came out to tell us that no, it was all a lie. And that you were unable to go out there and borrow. That was why you said that you were going to create your own wealth. In other words, you were not credit-worthy. Well, we expected that at least you would live by your words. But today, this is what I saw. And it shocked me. Come here, my youth. What did Blakk Rasta see? Cocoa Board still in talks with foreign lenders for cocoa syndication loan. And this is the finance minister talking. You know who a lender is? Somebody who lends money to you. Ghana will say somebody who borrows you money. Somebody where they borrow you money. Now here they call lender. Ghana is still running helter-skelter looking for lenders to borrow money from for the cocoa sector. What happened to Cocoa Board saying that they are not independent? Remember this same finance minister Another guy who is almost going to behave like Bawumia. And it's sad that it's my brothers that they are putting in those ridiculous positions. When everybody has failed, then they will bring them there to ridicule them the more because everything is helter-skelter bad. I don't know how many people understand what I'm saying. This is Mohammed Amin Anta. Last 2 weeks, what did he tell us? He said that this government is going to borrow and is happy that it looks good that the lenders are ready to give money to Ghana. At this point, after going to the IMF and the World Bank, knees are ground, hands capped, and begging, you are still looking to beg for the last few months of your tenure of office. It tells you how desperate we have become and how we lack virtues in this country. This is Mohammed Amin Anta, a fine gentleman. I know him. We grew up in the same area in Tamale. The same area. He's a fine gentleman, just like Bawumia. But the party they belong to, they only bring them in to ridicule them, unfortunately. The Minister of Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, has stated that the country's cocoa regulator, Cocoa Board, is still in talks with foreign lenders to raise a syndicated loan to fund the next crop season. Oh, Jesus. My brother, are you crying like I'm crying? The next crop season, we have to wait for people to come and lend us money before we can go and grow cocoa. To produce our food, we have to wait for people to give us money before we can eat. According to him, Cocoa Board has not completely abandoned the entire cocoa syndication loan program. You know why he's putting that? Because a few days ago, they told us that they are not depending on any lenders and loans in the cocoa sector. After several years, they are now on their feet to deal with the cocoa industry. Hey, I'm going to match the youth. There will be a big revolution in this country and the whole of Africa. Nobody would ever envisage that. I'm telling you that. Cocoa Board is not abandoning the cocoa syndication. Negotiations are ongoing, but it will not bring in more than $600 million out of an initial target of $1.5 billion. When they mention the money they are borrowing, my bones shudder. When they mention the amount of money they are borrowing, I don't feel like I have strong bones. I feel like I have cartilaginous bones. Did you hear that? Dr. Amin Adam is quoted to have said by Bloomberg during an interaction with journalists in Accra on August 26, 2024. He indicated that the inability to achieve this funding target has led Cocoa Board to seek alternative sources of funding. Hey, and look at this next paragraph, and I end there. The update by the finance minister comes after the Cocoa Board announced last week that it was breaking away from a 32-year tradition of seeking funds from international banks for the annual cocoa crop season to adopt a method of self-reliance, in other words, independence, at the start of the 2024-2025 crop season for cocoa in September 2024. Now, the chief executive officer of Cocoa Board, his name is Joseph Boahin Edu. He was my lecturer at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. A fine gentleman, soft-spoken. He used to like me. My dreadlocks, I was the only one in the class with dreadlocks, and he liked my bravery, but he has let me down. Dash it away. My brother, hey, I hate it when I have to repeat myself. I sound like a tape on repeat. Do you all remember when our old people sold out our cocoa fields to Chinese people to do galamsey? They decided to do galamsey, illegal mining, to the point that parents were so happy anytime they gave birth to males in the cocoa area because they had extra farm hands. This is equivalent to slavery. In the days of slavery, the slave guy saw us as chattels. movable property. Hey, Al Jazeera reported that Ghana cocoa was actually booming, all because of child labor. But it had been polluted because of galamsey. China quickly came back. Yeah. Those who don't speak Chinese. It's very simple. Oh yes, we got the right cocoa right there in Guangzhou. Even in Beijing. The same Ghana cocoa. But ours is unpolluted. That's the betrayal we got from China. Our own people help China come in and disturb and destroy our cocoa. But they took our cocoa beans like Tete Kwashi did from Bioko. Fernando Po at the time went to China and decided to duplicate and replicate our cocoa. So when the international world, the EU, said we don't want your cocoa anymore, Ghana, we are going to stop coming for your cocoa because it's polluted. China said we have the same Ghana cocoa, but the difference is that this is unpolluted. We were angry for a few days and we forgot it. China gave us another shocker. Hey, the best Gari comes from Ghana. This was the place where Gari started by the kind courtesy of our Ewe brethren and sisters. When the Portuguese came here and introduced us to cassava, manioc. My brother, my sister, Esculanto manioc. Xanthosuma sagittafolium. In the north, they plant a lot of yams. But in the south, it's more of cassava, which we turn into Gari. You know what happened? The Chinese said, we have the same Ghana cassava, and we make Gari out of Ghana cassava. Chinese make Gari. They don't eat Gari, but they make it for us to eat. Chinese print our wax prints and sell back to us. My brother, what the Chinese is trying to tell us is that let's stand on our feet and do proper business. Or else, it's just going to be a name that we own cocoa, yet China supplies the world with cocoa. Our own cocoa. In these days, you can say you have cocoa in your country, but some other people are able to clone the same cocoa in their country. I wanted to go a little bit into history, but time will not permit me. The long and short of it all is, Ghana cocoa is still crying for loans so we can plant more. It's the black pot, aka Cocoa Shonamo. This is where we are. And they say they want to break the 8. Are we okay? Today I went to the World Trade Center for a book launch. And so many young men who saw me, I was surprised. They came over to me. You know what they were saying? Those who were shouting, Cocoa Shonamo, black pot, Cocoa Shonamo. I realized that a number of them were also saying, listen, if Bawumia wins this election, I am leaving this country for you. They were quoting it left, right, and center. I didn't know. Ageta. Everybody has heard it. Try me and see. Vote him into power. I will respect you so much, but I can't be part of the suffering.
Etiway any ensema Blakk Rasta ababeka edi afayira Dr. Bawumia any afensu no Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Ehun. Wo nsembika ho a na de acheme e social media no eso ya comment section ase wa ya bekenkan edi amama revi eso be share video no so edi amame. Eye the teen house ene so ya sna edi nsem nyina edi abrawo omo edi chese hibiscus brew so bolo ene di aba edwaso nti so ko na kwaje wode ne nom na nti wonum na obodi ne so enye kama upa bi nso atu ato number no ene the screen so no fra wo mo a baby a wo bia no nsa ebetumi akabi.
Khemical TV, yeah. Khemical TV, anything goes. Khemical TV, for quality entertainment. Khemical TV, at the room. Khemical TV.